Are you tired of dealing with stiffness and pain in your ankles? You're feeling a pinch or decreased range of motion compared to the other side. Maybe you're experiencing a lot of stiffness in the morning or when you've been sitting for a while. Do you want to learn how to fix this for good? Comment what you're experiencing with your ankles today. In this video, we will show you the best exercise and stretches to help you alleviate a pinched ankles and get you back on your feet in no time. From runners to dancers to pickleball players, anyone can benefit from this simple yet effective technique to reduce ankle pain and improve mobility. Pinched ankles are something that can really take a toll on our daily lives, whether it's going for a walk or doing yoga or even running errands. Having ankles that are pinched and uncomfortable can make even the simplest tasks feel like a chore. Pinched ankles can actually affect your mobility and overall range of motion. It's difficult to give a precise percentage of ankles that will get stiff because there's a lot of different factors that can create ankle stiffness. Some of those factors are activity level, past injuries, overuse injuries, wearing heels all the time, arthritis, but one of the biggest reasons are ankle sprains. What you will feel is pain or pinching with certain motions, such as pushing off on your foot, going downstairs, difficulty walking on uneven ground. So what is the first step that needs to look like to start getting some relief today? The first thing that we always look at is mobility. That's the first step. How is the joint moving? And when we think of like the ankle sprain, we're going to give you that as an example. You go in and you twist your ankle to the side. So it's like almost flexed and rotated. Your foot is pointed down and rotated. And when that happens, sometimes there's joint material within the joint and that can kind of get displaced. And we've got to actually mobilize the joint in order to get that range of motion back. Very similar to if you have someone that's always in heels, they're always in that plantar flex, that pointing down position, the joint can get stiff because you're always repeated with some force in that position, and all of a sudden the joint doesn't move, and we've got to do some joint mobilizations to get it back to moving. And so this is something that gets missed all the time in the healthcare system because it's like, oh, wow, your Achilles is tight. Well, maybe it's not the Achilles is tight. Maybe it is. Maybe it's that your joint's not moving and you're getting protection from that area, and that's causing a lot of your issues. And I'm telling you, one of the most common things that we see in our office when you have what we call ankle derangements, where there's material that's been kind of displaced, something that we can totally fix, it's from ankle sprains, and it's because you have this forceful motion to the outside where it rotates, and we've got to do something to undo that by going in the opposite direction. Now, other things that can cause mobility issues can be soft tissue tightness and things like that. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that pinching. That pinching is really, when I hear that, it's really a mobility issue that we have to get resolved and fixed. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, it can take to get that full motion back, usually around 2 to 3, sometimes 4 treatments of doing some of the mobilizations before you start noticing big differences. So the reason why, when we're looking at like what direction do we need to go into, we've got to ask a lot of questions. So the common things, which I've talked about before, is what are things that you notice make it worse? And so you'll have people that'll say like, I can't pushing off of my foot really is difficult. They'll say like if they go down the stairs and they point their toe down to try to accept the weight, can't do it, it hurts. And so we start finding these common patterns of, oh, when it's down in this direction, it's something that makes it worse. So we need to take it in the opposite direction. When you combine that information and education and you combine it with how they injured themselves, then you can start going like, okay, these are the same patterns. Okay, we need to go take it in the opposite direction. So I'm going to show you an exercise. This is a game changer that we do, and it's basically dorsiflexion mobilizations. And you'll just want to step. You can do it also in a chair, something that doesn't move. So make sure the chair's up against a wall. And what you're going to do is, again, because the foot went, when we sprained an ankle, it went down and rotated this way. We want to take it the opposite direction and up. That's what we're going to do on this mobilization. So the first one, like if you're someone that wears heels all the time, then you can just go straight because you're basically always in this direction. There's no rotational component to it. Again, this is how we can understand how to solve the problem and what direction is going to be best. Because what we find is one direction can usually open up a lot of different other directions. Now, there can be just stiffness where it's stiffness in a lot of different areas. You'll see that a lot when people have had really massive ankle surgeries from like car accidents where you had to put things together. Very different. You're mobilizing in different directions because the whole ankle is super stiff. When you're not really sure what you did and it just started, you had an incident and all of a sudden your ankle doesn't move as well and you're getting some pinching, this is usually where these are going to work. So the first one, you can just take your foot on a step. You want your foot, your heel to be off the step, and you're going to use your hands, because what we're going to do is you're going to use the hands to just put some overpressure through that foot. And then you can even get more by bringing your body forward. So what we're trying to do is really get that foot as close to the top part of the leg as possible. It doesn't get close to it, not even close, it won't, but that's the motion that we really want. And so we can start out this way and just kind of see if that makes a difference. And one of the motions that you can start doing is go and test it before you do it. So what are the things that make it pinch? Now, sometimes it can be like, I go down a stairs and I can't do it because you don't have that motion. But everything else points to every time my foot is in, I can't put my foot this way, I can't stretch my foot where my toes are down. If everything points in those directions, we want to go in the opposite direction. So if you notice that, oh, it's when I point my toes down and I put some pressure in it, do that as a baseline for you, or go and walk and just kind of push off if that is a baseline for you. If stairs are a baseline, just do it before, and then you're going to do this motion where, again, you put your foot down, you push down on it, you lean forward, and just kind of mobilize it. You can hold it there if we want a little bit more force. That's another way of doing it. Or you can take it down and lean forward and come off of it, like kind of like pressure on, pressure off. They're all different ways of doing it. Everyone responds a little bit differently, but if we need to add a little bit more force, then a way of doing that is holding it for like 30 seconds or longer. Now, when you had an ankle sprain, oftentimes we need to do what we call eversion. We need to evert the foot. We need to put the foot up in that position. And so what you can do is you'll be in the exact same position, but you'll use a towel roll. And the towel roll you're going to put where it's on the outside part of your foot so that your foot automatically kind of goes in that position, that everted position. And then you're going to do the exact same mobilization. So you'll put the towel roll down, foot's hanging off, but you can see how my foot is rotated now. I still want to keep my knee over my foot so that we can keep that rotation, accommodate it. Again, you're going to push down and lean forward. And again, you can do where it's pressure on, push down, lean forward, or you can do where you just put pressure and just kind of hold it. Both are good. Everyone responds a little bit differently to which one that works for them, but those are the exercises that you can do. The reason why things are pinching is because the joints aren't really fully moving and it's pinching down on something. And when we do these joint mobilizations, it literally opens up a lot of other motions and they start feeling better. They start feeling more confident that you can put some weight through it and feel, even on uneven ground, you'll feel a lot more stable. You'll be able to go back up on your toes. And usually it takes about 2 to 3 weeks. When people come in to see us, we can really mobilize it and hit that in range. So that's when it's probably a 2 to 3 week process. If you're doing it on your own, it may take a little bit longer because you might not be doing the exact right force, or you need to add a little bit of rotation to it. More rotation than dorsiflexion, which is the foot kind of going up, versus getting a little bit more of that rotation piece to it. So if you aren't sure if this is right or it's sort of right and you're not really sure, make sure you get to someone that really understands the body, and they can really help guide you much faster as which direction is going to work best for you. We have sometimes where we need to go in the opposite direction and we need to go and actually do it where our foot is pointed down. Doesn't happen as often, but definitely is a mobilization that we'll do. But everyone's a little bit different. We take all this information in to understand like which direction we need to go into, which helps us understand your body a little bit better. But this is really 70% of the people that we see, this is what really works for them. And when it works, it's going to work really fast. Again, if you like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel, share this with someone that needs to hear this message today, and make sure if you have any comments or any questions, go in the comment section and write them out for us, and we'll make sure that we respond as quickly as we can.